this limit x y tends to a comma b, it is exactly same as for function of for function of one variables. You know this definition, limit x tends to a, f x is equal to f of a. If this thing is true, we said that function of one variable x f x is continuous at x equal to a. Here if this thing is true, we said that f is continuous at the point a comma b, and if function is continuous at every point in the domain, then it is said to be continuous on the whole domain. Okay. Now, let us see how to discuss continuity. For that, let us consider some problems based on definition of continuity and limit, which you have seen in the last lecture. You can see on the screen. Discuss continuity of the following functions at the same point 0 0. All the continuity we are going to discuss at the same point 0 0. First, let me take the function in the first example, f of x comma y is equal to x y upon what is that, x square plus y square, square root of x square plus y square, if x y is not equal to 0 0 and is equal to 0 if otherwise. If otherwise means if x y is 0 0, then the value of the function is 0. So, by this definition of the function, it is clear that f of 0 0 is 0. This means you can also write in a different way, if f of x comma y equal to 0 0, then you should take the value of the function 0, and for x y not equal to 0 0, the formula is given by this x y upon square root of x square plus y square. Now, what I will prove is this, we shall show that limit x comma y tends to 0 0, because we want to discuss continuity at 0 0 of f of x comma y is same as f of 0 0. I will prove this thing. If this is proved, then by our definition of continuity, we say that this function f is continuous at the point 0 0. But you know, just now we have found f of 0 0 is 0. So, I must prove that this value equal to 0. In other words, I have to show that limit x comma y tends to 0 0 of f x y equal to 0. So, this problem is reduced to the problem of proving that this limit is 0, which we have studied in the last lecture, okay, how to prove the given limit is true or false. So, for this I will use the epsilon delta method. Okay. So, what is our aim? We start with always, you know, in the definition of limit we start with an epsilon greater than 0, and our aim is always to find some delta. We want to find some delta such that whenever 0 less than mod of x minus a, what is a and b here? 0 0. So, 0 less than delta, 0 less than mod of y minus 0 less than delta, these two conditions together must imply that mod of f x y minus L, what is L? Value of the limit, this 0, this must be less than epsilon, correct. So, this is our aim now, to prove that limit x y tends to 0 0 f x y is equal to 0, I have to verify this condition. A given epsilon, can we find some delta, so that whenever this condition is satisfied, the difference between f x y and 0 is less than epsilon. So, we consider f x y minus 0 and try to show under what delta that condition is true. Okay. So, consider mod of f x y minus 0, which is equal to mod of x y upon square root of x square plus y square, which I can write as mod x mod y upon mod of square root of x square plus y square. Now, we use some ideas to prove that this thing is less than or equal to something. First, consider this, we know that y square, for any real number y, if you find a square, it is always non-negative, y square is always greater than or equal to 0. Now, adding x square on both the sides, I will get x square plus y square greater than or equal to x square, correct. You see that we want something upon x square plus y square. So, I divide x square plus y square both the sides, and I will get 1 is greater than or equal to x square upon x square plus y square. Taking the square root, positive square root, we will get 1 is greater than or equal to x upon square root of x square plus y square, or you can write in the reverse inequality x square plus y square is less than or equal to 1. So, I have proved that this quantity x upon square root of x square plus y square, which is required here, you can see in this expression that this thing is required, it is less than or equal to 1. So, to simplify this expression, this is the main technique, or you can say a good idea. Using that y square is greater than or equal to 0, we have shown that this part is remaining less than some constant. If the complicated expression is reduced to a simple one, we can find the delta value very easily. That is the only basic idea for doing all this. So, this is less than or equal to 1 into mod y. Just now I have proved that this thing, this x upon square root of x square plus y square is always less than or equal to 1. Okay. Now, this means it is mod of y, and mod of y is always less than delta. Because of that condition, if you remember, our aim is to find delta such that whenever mod of x minus 0 less than delta and mod of y minus 0 less than delta, these two together implies f x 1 minus 0 is less than epsilon. So, because of this condition, I can write mod y is less than delta. Now, from this we get the idea, if I want to make this less than epsilon, I should choose delta equal to epsilon. Okay. So, this says okay, for every epsilon, if you take delta is equal to epsilon, then we can always have this thing 0 less than x minus 0 less than delta, 0 less than mod of y minus 0 less than delta implies f x y minus L. What is L? 0, it is less than epsilon. So, I have proved this condition. What does it say? It says that the limit x y tends to 0 0 of f x y is 0, but this 0 is same as f of 0 0. Value of the function at 0 0 is also 0. Hence, what is the conclusion? I can say the function is continuous at the point 0 0. Function is continuous at the point 0 0. So, our first example shows that the function is continuous at the point. Let us go for the second example. You can see on the screen. Next example on the screen. F x y is equal to x y into x square minus y square upon x square plus y square. Okay. And if otherwise. Okay. Here also I will prove that this function is continuous. So, I am going to show that limit x y tends to 0 0 of f of x comma y is equal to f of 0 0. But what is f of 0 0? Again, by the definition of the function, it is 0. So, in short, we are going to prove that this limit exists and it is 0. So, for that, let us start with an epsilon greater than 0 be given. Okay. And for we want to find delta, so that whenever 0 less than x minus a less than delta and y 0 less than mod of y minus b less than delta, but a and b are 0. So, I am writing directly okay, 0 less than this, 0 less than this implies f x y minus L is less than epsilon. So, our main aim is to make this quantity less than epsilon. To simplify this very complicated expression, sometimes we can take a substitution. So, let us put x equal to this substitution, x equal to r cos theta and y is equal to r sin theta in this. Then we get f x y mod of f x y minus 0 is equal to what was that? X y into x square minus y square upon x square plus y square will be converted into x is r cos theta, y is r sin theta, this is r square cos square theta minus r square sin square theta upon what? R square, because x square plus y square is equal to r square cos square sin theta plus r square sin square theta. So, it is r square only. So, this r square will be cancelled with this r and this r. So, what you will get is cos theta sin theta into r square is common and cos square minus sin square. What is cos square minus sin square? Cos square minus sin square is cos 2 theta. So, this gives you mod r square into mod cos theta, mod sin theta and mod of cos 2 theta. I am writing directly now. this cos square minus sin square is cos 2 theta mod cos theta, mod A into B into C into D, you can separate like this. And we know that value of all trigonometric functions, absolute value is always less than or equal to 1. So, cos of something, sin of something, if you take absolute value, it is always less than 1. So, this I can write is less than r square. So, what I have proved is this, f x y minus 0 is less than or equal to mod r square. Now, from where this r square comes? It comes from this thing, and it is depending on x and y. Our main aim is to choose delta. So, x and y is depending on delta in this manner. So, we do this work. Okay, here mod x is less than delta and mod y is less than delta, will give you x square less than delta square and y square less than delta square. So, if you add these two, you will get x square plus y square is less than 2 delta square. But what is x square plus y square? It is r square. So, r square is less than 2 delta square. Why it is r square? Because of our substitution, x is equal to r cos theta and y is equal to r sin theta. So, I can write mod of f x y minus 0, which is less than r square, it is less than 2 delta square, correct. Now, I want to prove this thing is less than epsilon. So, when this will be less than epsilon, or you can say when this is equal to epsilon, 2 delta square is equal to epsilon, then we must have delta is equal to what? Root of epsilon by 2, taking 2 on this side and then finding the positive square root. So, this shows, or this gives the idea, if you choose delta is equal to square root of epsilon by 2 greater than 0, then you can always have this condition satisfied. This condition satisfied means this limit exists and it is equal to 0, and that means the function is continuous. So, it is a good example of continuity. This function is also continuous at 0 0. Okay. So, in this today's topic we have seen 3 things. First of all, how to prove double limit does not exist using the 2 techniques. One is the limit depending upon the path, and the concept of repeated limits. Secondly, we have seen the concept of continuity and how to prove the function is continuous using the definition. And I hope you have understood this, and next time again if time comes we will discuss about the another concept of differentiation for function of 2 variables, namely the concept of partial differentiation. Thank you very much.